on motivation, what continues to drive our researchers.
In the battle against retinal diseases, Foundation Fighting Blindness researchers are on the front lines. Hear why they've dedicated themselves to the field of blindness research and what drives them to find treatments and cures.
From the very beginning, when I was a resident and a fellow in pediatric ophthalmology, the most devastating diseases that I dealt with were retinitis pigmentosa and inherited degenerative diseases of the retina, both in terms of breaking the news to the patient as well as to the extended family. And I think the only person in the room that was more devastated than the family and the patient was me, the physician. So no one likes to give that news, and no one likes to feel helpless, and the patients feel helpless, the family feels helpless, and the physician feels helpless. And so I made it my mission very early on to do something about that.
For me, it's not just the science, it is personal, not only for my family members, but I've met so many individuals, I've met so many children, so many affected people, that's who I'm really working for, is for those individuals, so that they know that every moment of every day, the foundation is there for them and making a difference.
Oh, to help patients. I would love to see if we can make any difference for patients who lost their sight. This is one of my main goals. And the fact that any person lose sight is just the most devastating thing. Of course I wanted to help.
I tell the folks in my laboratory and all the time, and people that I train, if I can just be a part of the process that one day gets a patient who is fighting a disease like retinitis pigmentosa to see better, or to preserve the vision that they have remaining, then what more could you ask for in your whole career? Very few people, whether they be physicians or scientists, are able to say that they can play a role in something as great as that.
The possibility of helping people, right? The possibility specifically of preserving vision or restoring sight to some of the patients that I take care of and some of the people that I know through working with the Foundation Fighting Blindness. And that's been a drive all along.
Especially if one sees children as part of their practice, and you sit in the room with a family and you see a child that is either the age of one of your children or reminds you of one of your children when they were that age, and you realize that they have a pretty bad thing that is endangering their vision. This sense of responsibility to them steals over you, and your desire to press through obstacles steals over you. And so the word fight, I think, is very appropriate, because you sort of you're leaning forward, you're looking at this obstacle, and it's sort of like, if you're between me and the vision of this child, you don't want to be between me and the vision of this child.
When I talk to my wife and daughters about work and what we're working on, what we're doing, I've started to tell them, look, I'll feel like I've achieved my dream in my career if we can cure one inherited form of retinal degeneration. And I feel like that's realistic in my career and the remaining part of the career that I have.
What I tell everyone that works in our group is that I want them to get up in the morning and compete against the disease. I want them to compete against blindness, compete against ignorance. And if they compete against blindness and our lack of knowledge of the disease, everything else will take care of itself.
The main driver is people who are going blind and need a treatment, and they are desperate. The time clock is running, and every single day is one day when they're losing more cells in their retina and there's less chance of resuscitating their vision. And I can't tell you how motivating it is for me and for my colleagues and my lab members to talk to these people and see the challenges that they deal with on a daily basis, just walking from one building to another, or finding a face in a crowd, or finding their plate at a table, things that many of us take for granted. And I really dream of being able to help these people, and it's an urgency. I've got my teeth in it. I'm not going to let go.